Hey everyone, the one and only here, and I'm super excited to see you back on my channel. I apologize in advance if my voice sounds weird. I have a sore throat and talking a lot right now is not the move, but I'm doing it for you guys and also because I'm excited to review this product. This is the Milanese Loop for the Apple Watch. The Milanese Loop comes in both sizes for the 44mm and smaller 40mm Apple Watches and is compatible across all Apple Watch models from the Series 0 up to the new Series 4. The Milanese Loop has always been the band that attracts a lot of attention and has a unique luster to it that I don't think many other bands can rival. It's definitely one of a kind, so without further ado, let's jump right into this review. So first things first, the official Milanese Loop is beautiful and is a modern interpretation of a design developed in Milan at the end of the 19th century according to Apple, and is certainly not cheap. It currently comes in at $149, definitely a tough pill to swallow for a watch band. However, it is actually a mid-tier Apple Watch band. The variety of watch bands is incredible, and there are definitely some more expensive bands like the Link bracelet and some of the highly sought after Hermes bands. The Milanese band originally came in just a classic stainless steel, but then Apple released it in space black, and now with the introduction of the new stainless steel gold on the Series 4, Apple debuted the gold stainless steel, which is really nice, but the color is actually more dull than Apple has on their website. That I will brush up on a bit later. When the Apple Watch was first introduced, they highlighted this very band alongside the rollout of the very first Apple Watch. It is made from woven stainless steel mesh and is infinitely adjustable with this magnetic closure, which makes for a very tight and a very secure fit. Now of course, when I first got my Apple Watch, the Milanese band was very high on my list in terms of my Apple Watch band bucket list. Why? Look at it. It looks like chainmail and looks so classy. If you get the right angle under the sun, the band has this reflective property that makes it look very high-end. Additionally, the band is made from the exact same material, that being stainless steel, as the stainless steel editions of the Apple Watch and matches up perfectly. However, if you have the sport edition of the Apple Watch, it looks a bit tacky in my opinion. The duller matte-like finish of the watch contrasts quite heavily against the shinier, brighter stainless steel lugs, but really isn't that noticeable unless examined up real close. Matching up the regular stainless steel band with a black sport watch just looks weird, and here lies one of the drawbacks of the Milanese band. It's not like the leather loop or the sport bands, which look better and match more consistently with just about all colors of the Apple Watch. But aside from the color matching, the colors are very nice, especially the gold stainless steel. It's not a bright gold kind of yellow, rather a duller, bronzier kind of gold, and it's easier to see here in natural light. It looks super clean and appears to be more like jewelry as compared to some of the sport band models. In terms of durability, I'd say this band ranks higher than almost all other Apple Watch bands. Because the stainless steel is woven in, if you do happen to get a scratch, it will be negligible and hardly be able to be seen. Only portion of the band that this is noticeable on is the magnetic closure. After a while, it will get a bit banged up, but the closure is on the underside of your wrist for the most part, so shouldn't be at the forefront of your swag. Discoloration or any deformation is almost completely non-existent. I've had my stainless steel Milanese Loops for quite some time, and in terms of color, still look brand new, so that may be something to consider if you want your band to look pristine for a very long time. Actually, the black stainless steel has a diamond-like carbon coating, which gives the space black band, like the space black watch, its distinctive color. Even though it is just a coating, you would have to make a very deep scratch in order to reveal the stainless steel underneath. Another positive aspect of the Milanese Loop is the breathability aspect to its design. Because of the weaved mesh, the band actually allows plenty of air to pass through, allowing for your wrist to remain calm and cool for the most part. I've expressed concerns with some other bands like the sport band or the leather loop in terms of breathability. If put on too tight in hotter or humid climates, you'll start to notice your wrist becomes very hot and flat out uncomfortable on those bands. But because this band is similar to the sport loop and leather loop, for me, this band is just as comfortable as those since it is infinitely adjustable and can be put on real tight or real loose or anything in between without having the same same problems. Rest assured, this band is advertised as fitting wrists 130 to 180 millimeters for the smaller 40 millimeter size and 150 to 200 millimeters for the bigger 44 millimeter size. So try-on sessions at an Apple store are almost unnecessary unless you just have bigger wrists than the average person, in which case definitely go out and try it out. Now, all Apple Watch bands have their pros and cons, and one nitpicky part which won't relate to everyone is the fact that it pulls my arm hairs hard. Unprovoked, the Milanese Loop has a mind of its own and sometimes does you dirty and tries you up so it can run its one. No joke, if you have hairy arms like me, beware. On the subject of hair, I have also sometimes scratched the back of my head with this band on, and it also yanks my hair bad too. Kinda feels like a nose hair was just pulled off, and I slick shed a tear every time. But then I remember all the money that I dropped on this band and then continue to cry even harder. Sad facts. Lastly, another thing I don't particularly like about the band is that it becomes looser throughout the day on its own. The Sport Loop has a Velcro-like material so it stays put most of the day, and the Leather Loop has tons of magnets which also secure it in place for the most part. But with the single magnet on the Milanese Loop stunting, trying to look good and be a good magnet at the same time makes for the loosening of the band. In practice, it's not a big deal at all whatsoever, but I wonder after heavy and repeated use if the magnet will weaken over time and become so weak that you'll have to adjust every other half hour or more. Because it loosens, this is also a very bad candidate while doing any form of physical activity. It's not the worst. The Leather Loop and Link bracelets are both pretty bad for athletic performances, but this Milanese Loop won't help you much at all either. With it being stainless steel and the loosening because of the single magnet, you'll find you'll adjust your band more than you lift weights, but chances are, you're used to other people being on their phones more than lifting weights at the gym anyway, so I guess it's nothing new. Just a couple of last things about this band. If you have a charging dock to charge your watch, it unfortunately can't be laid flat on the dock itself. Rather, it will have to be propped up and wrapped around while sideways to charge, which differs from say the Sport Band, which can be charged laying down flat or sideways. This is due to the fact that the stainless steel mesh is in the way while laid flat and thus won't charge. Lastly, you won't ever have to worry about the band becoming undone like the Leather Loop can because the metal puck at the end is bigger than the hole that is attached to the lug. Because of this, it is a one-piece band similar to the Sport Loop and differs from the two-piece bands like the Sport Band or Leather Loops. Lastly, if you type a lot or have an office job, you may want to consider taking the watch with the Milanese Loop off during extended periods of typing, as the metal on metal with say a MacBook or metal on wood may cause the finish on your MacBook or wood to get scratched up. It's small little things like these that you may not think about when picking up this band. So question is, should you drop your hard-earned money on this band? I say it's definitely worth it, especially if you can find a good deal online or a lightly used one. But this is one of the biggest hurdles customers will come across when debating picking it up. The $150 price tag is rather high for those that want to find a band on a budget, and I'm fully aware replicas exist online, and trust me, there are hundreds of replicas that mimic the Milanese Loop, but apart from the looks, that's where the similarities end. When compared side to side, there is a huge difference. Cheaper models tend to have looser and not intricate weaving, a cheaper material used which would allow for some scratches over the long run losing its color and luster, and non-matching finishes which may differ from the finish of your Apple Watch. Personally, I think the Milanese Loop is one of the most attractive bands you can have for your Apple Watch. However, I don't think it's entirely practical for everyday use. This band is meant for the office, more formal occasions, or if you're on a date and want to flex with your new shiny band, but definitely not for when you mow the lawn or want to shoot some hoops. All in all, the band looks extremely nice and is much more on the luxurious side rather than the sportier side of the Apple Watch. When I have my Milanese Loop on, I feel like a boss and ups my confidence by 3 levels, no joke. It looks particularly nice with a nice polo and jeans. It's classy enough to be worn casually, but also looks amazing with a button-up and tie. My recommendation, you need this band for your collection. This is the band you definitely don't want to have absent from your collection. Aside from the small nitpicky things, the band is fantastic, but the price tag is what will ultimately push customers away. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you have this band for your Apple Watch? Let me know how you like it. Thinking of picking it up sometime soon? Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you decide on whether you'll pick it up or not. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch everyone in the next one. Peace.